To say that I had not been waiting for this is an understatement. The picture you see before you is a picture that was taken on Sunday in Seattle, Washington, of the Houston Texan players kneeling at the playing of the national anthem. And to me, this basically signals that the players, and in particular the black players, have grown a pair collectively, at least on the Houston Texan team, to state to their owner, Bob McNair, that they are not slaves on a plantation. It signals further to the Donald Trump supporting Bob McNairs and Jerry Joneses of the world that you may own the team, but you damn sure don't own us. And for you to, whether it was jokingly or not, consider us inmates of the prison is a bunch of bullshit. Now, Bob McNair, let us say, has leanings to the right. And in particular, he does not have respect for black people in particular. Now, he hides it well, or at least in the past had hidden it well, until the election of President Obama, at which time he came into the locker room and had a few choice words to say about the election of '44. This did not go over well with quite a few of the black players, but it was kept under wraps until this past weekend. When Mr. McNair's comments came out, his players basically said enough is enough. And they went public with their displeasure about his comments and how he apparently felt about black people and the cause of racial injustice. Now, on a sports team, normally athletes come together. Doesn't matter if they're black, white, or indifferent. They come together because the majority of them have worked their entire lives to get to the positions that they're in, and they recognize the sacrifices of other players on their team, whether they be black or white, so that it's relatively easy for them all to pull together in one direction. In this particular case, Mr. McNair has not only united the black players on his team, but even the white players, some of them, recognize Mr. McNair's bullshit. And as you can see there on the right, there is a white player that is in this photograph, and he was not the only one. So out of the 50-man roster of the Houston Texans, only 10 white players stood at the playing of the anthem. Everybody else took a knee. I'm hoping that the other teams around the NFL take a page out of the Texans book and decide to collectively demonstrate their power, because without the players, there is no game and there is no league. And for Mr. McNair to make the comments that he did when these players are putting their bodies and health on the line to play a game that he financially benefits from, should have given him pause. In other words, should have kept his damn mouth shut. But again, to me, this just signals that Jerry Jones and other owners of his ilk do not have the power that they think they had. It's also to be noted that Mr. Jones had issued an edict that anybody who didn't respect the playing of the national anthem was going to be suspended. And there were 2 players on the Dallas Cowboys, just 2, but 2 players nevertheless, that did make a statement, a symbolic statement during the playing of the national anthem, and they were not suspended by Mr. Jones. So hopefully this catches on and the NFL does finally decide to take a stand, side with its players, and do what is morally right as far as backing its players and against police brutality against black and brown people and the uneven-handedness of the criminal justice system.